friends, welcome back to the homestead. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lynn. If you've been here before, great big welcome back. Might be noticing something different about this video. I seem taller. I'm actually on my step stool because I am in the store, and this is what we call our store. This is where we store our long-term storage, our stockpile, all my canning, whatever you want to call it, we call it a store. And I'm in here because this is where I'm going to explain to you why this video is not blueberry pie filling. As I was rearranging all of my jars, because we have been canning a lot, friends, this month. I am pretty impressed with how much I've managed to can already, and we'll talk about that in a later video. As I was rearranging, I started noticing lots of purpley colored jars on the top. Blueberry pie filling. Blueberry pie filling. Blueberry pie filling. Blueberry pie. So are you starting to understand why we're not doing blueberry pie filling? I did not realize I had made a ton of blueberry pie filling last year. I honestly don't even remember it, but it was a year ago, so that's not surprising. But I have, let me see, let me count them real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 quarts of blueberry pie filling. So that is why we won't be doing blueberry pie filling. I apologize. I know I put it in the poll and it came very close to beating apple chutney, cranberry apple chutney, which by the way is turning out very delicious. But I didn't realize how much I already had. I really didn't. And this is why it's important to check on your canning jars, see what you have. One of the reasons is I noticed I'm missing a lot of my quart jars. Where are they? Well, they're over here in apples, cranberry juice, blueberry pie filling. That's where all those jars are. So that's why we're not going to be making blueberry pie filling. The good news is though, I did a whole video on this a year ago. I'll link it down below or somewhere here at the end of this video or right here. You can watch that after this video. And that takes you through how I made my blueberry pie filling. So what are we gonna make today? Well, obviously we're gonna make the thing that was third on the list, which I'm very excited about, taco beef. So let's head back into the kitchen and we'll get that going.
My wish is that you don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I'm running and you should too, and hit that subscribe button. I know what you've been asking yourself. How can I make a difference? I'm just one person.
I can make a difference, but I'm just one person.
Well, my friends, I'm here to tell you that it's free, quick, and easy. Share this video on your social media and make that difference today.
Okay, so we're back at the stove. So yes, we're gonna do some taco beef, shelf-stable taco beef. So that means we'll be pressure canning it. And I'm really excited about this because we eat a lot of tacos, a lot of Mexican period in this house. It's one of my favorite foods of all time. And I'm excited to do this. It's also the first time I have canned ground beef. I have canned, you know, beef, but not ground beef. So I'm excited, and it's very simple. I almost would dare say again, this could be kind of a great way to get introduced into pressure canning because it's very simple. You don't even have to make this into taco beef if you just want to have some ground beef shelf stable. So what am I doing? In my frying pan, I have 2 pounds of ground beef from our local farmers. There's not going to be a lot of fat, which is good because you do want to try and drain off as much of the fat as you can. Too much fat can make your shelf-stable meats not be as shelf-stable for as long. So it has a shorter expiry. So we're gonna brown this all up, drain off any fat I have, which quite frankly, I probably won't have any. I actually had to add a little bit of oil to my pan because this is so lean, it's incredible. And we're just gonna brown this up. And once that's cooked, then we will go on to the next step, which is really the last step. So while that's frying up, I just want to let you know that you don't want the pieces any bigger than like a small meatball. That's as big as they should be. I think I have mine about the size I want. We'll see. I'm also going to be canning this in wide mouth as usual, my favorites. Pint jars. Couple of reasons. One, this is the most jars I have right now because most of my quart jars are still full, or I've been using them to make other things that we've been canning this whole month of July with Just Can It. Also, it's only David and I who eat these, so one of these is pretty much a supper for us. So that works out pretty good. The recipe I'm using, I will link it down below. It's also a ball recipe. Again, it does say add seasonings, so it's totally up to you what seasonings you add. So this is a ball approved method, but it doesn't tell me how many, which is weird. Well, I should say that. It tells me it makes 4 servings. Well, this is a serving to me. So just in case, I do have 6 jars. I have 6 jars ready. I don't think I'm gonna need that many, but you know what? I've been wrong before. The other thing you're gonna need is taco seasoning. I make my own taco seasoning, and I'm gonna tell you the recipe right now on how to make that. I will say, once you start making your own taco seasoning, you'll never buy those little packets again. Not only does it taste better, it's so much cheaper. Like, this was full. This recipe pretty much made a full jar of this. So I will give you my quadrupled recipe, okay? You need 4.5 tablespoons of chili powder, 3.5 tablespoons of ground cumin, 4 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. That's how I make mine. Now, if you want to add paprika, black pepper, and crushed red pepper, again, you would just use half a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. I don't like that, and that's the other reason I like making my own, because then we can make it to our taste. So because there's already salt in here, I won't be adding any additional salt to the jars when we're done cooking up the beef. So, oh, and the other thing you're gonna need is boiling water. So I'm gonna go get my kettle boiling because that is just about done. Okay, so I drained off all the grease, and there wasn't a lot, as I suspected. And we're going to fill our jars, and we're gonna leave about 1-inch headspace. Yeah, I am not gonna need as many jars as I took out. So, I guess a serving is 4 pint jars, because that is exactly what I'm gonna get, I think. And maybe not even. Okay, I'm only gonna get 3, because I know I'm gonna need to add more to this once I add the water. So we're just gonna tap down the beef. And I'm gonna add 3/4 teaspoons to each jar. And I am gonna add a little more of this to each one. Okay, so we need 3/4 teaspoons of taco seasoning into every jar. So 1, 2. Actually, I think I'm just going to do half a teaspoon in each jar. The 3/4 was if I had 4 jars, but I don't, so I only have 3. If I did my math right, then that is right. And now we're going to add the boiling water, leaving 1-inch headspace. We are going to debubble. Another thing I like about this is a small recipe. It's a good way for us to try it and see if we're gonna like it. And if we do, I have a lot more ground beef from our beef order that I can turn into some more taco beef. Okay, and we're gonna check. Looks like our headspace, that one could use just a touch more. That one could use just a touch more. That one seems okay. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off the rims just in case, because you know, there might be a little bit of grease there on the rims of the jar. Use my 4 jar lids. Again, best lids, I love these lids. And if you use my code, Bucket List Homestead, you can get 10% off anything on the website, just not the lids. I want to mention my new favorite tool from 4 Jars is this jar lifter. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love, love, love this tool. And that is also on the website. It is great. It lifts off your jars, because I don't reuse my jars for canning, but I certainly reuse them for storage, or even if you're just gonna use, like if you're opening jelly and you wanna open the lid and you're not gonna eat all that jelly, well, we aren't usually the day we open it, I can use my lid, put the ring on, and then put it in the refrigerator for the next week or so. So yeah, I absolutely love this tool. All right, we're just gonna wipe these all down. Finger tight. Okay, I'm going to put my water in, 8 cups of hot water, and we're going to process this size jar for 75 minutes. If you're doing quart jars, it is 90 minutes, but pint jars, it's 75. Of taco beef, all canned up, ready to go on the shelf, and I'm gonna let these sit here for 24 hours, and then we check the seal tomorrow, wipe them, give them a little wipe down though. No siphoning. I'm doing good with that this year. I've had very little jars siphoned, so that's really well good. I mean, things could still change now that they're out of the pot, but I did let them sit in the pot after it depressurized by itself. Oh my gosh, 20-30 minutes, and then I cracked the lid for about another 10. So fingers crossed, no siphoning. So I'm really anxious to try this. I forgot to mention, if you do not want to use boiling water, you could use very hot tomato juice or hot beef broth. I didn't use either one of those because that's not how I typically make my taco meat. I typically make it exactly this way, except maybe adding the water. I'm hoping the water doesn't dull it down too much or take flavor away. I'm really hoping it doesn't do that. Worst case scenario, I have to add a little more taco seasoning when I go to heat them up before we cook them. But I do plan on trying these in the next couple of weeks so we can figure out if we like it, so I can definitely get more done for the winter. So, and I don't know if you noticed, when I was showing you the jars, there's a couple things here thawing out. Those we're going to make in the next couple of videos for Just Can It. We still have, what's the date today? 8 days left of July, and I'm determined to get through definitely those 2 recipes and possibly a couple of more. The meat is definitely gone down quite a bit in our freezers, so now I think I need to look at a couple other things that are in there and see if there's anything I could do with those to help make space. So thanks for joining me, friends. This has been such a fun series. I hope you're all enjoying it. This Just Can It certainly has been enjoyable not only to make, but to see my shelves grow with shelf-stable meat. I get so excited. I mean, you know, those who know, you know. It's a great thing to see, and I'm just feel like I'm really getting a jump start on winter this year. So till then, take care, God bless, and we'll see y'all soon.